it's got like an infinite screen. Crazy, man. Jadari, watch your mouth. Don't do that. It ain't bad. Okay. I ain't saying it. Okay, guys, let's get started. Guys, it is time to get started. Please stop talking. All right. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to teach you today how to simplify rational expressions. It's going to get more in depth as we go when we start multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting. But we're just going to do just the simplifying part. Okay. So, there's really no notes. So let's just jump into some. Let's just jump straight into some examples. Okay. Hey, man, is there an issue, man? Is there an issue here? All right. Now, guys, one thing about this chapter or this unit, if you don't know how to factor, you need to start. You need to start learning how because a lot of this is factoring. Okay. Um, now, so I'm gonna rewrite my denominator because there's nothing I can do with it. Okay. Now, what I need to do to my numerator is I need to factor this. Okay. And guys, you've been factoring now for 3 years, so hopefully you still remember how to factor. Okay. Now, um, first of all, the variable goes up front, the m. All right. Does anybody remember what your signs are going to be if it's plus plus? Is plus plus. Same. That sign tells me they're the same. This sign tells me they're both plus. Okay. If this is plus, they're the same. If they're plus here, it's both plus. If that's a plus minus, it's going to be two minus signs. God almighty, they drive me crazy. Hello. Yeah. Can she get her notes first? All right. Thank you. All right. Okay. So now I need two numbers that will multiply to give me 80. That at the same time add to give me 18. Now, without doing a bunch of factor finding, those two numbers are 8 and 10. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 plus 10 is 18. Okay? Doesn't matter where they go because both signs are plus. All right, now, so what we're doing, we're simplifying. Okay, so now, guys, if I have the same thing on top and on bottom, what happens to it? It cancels, right? Now, when those cancel out, that actually becomes 1. 1 times n plus 8. All I have left is an n plus 8. Okay? That's your answer. Okay? Guys, they can get a little more. We'll get to one here in a minute. All right, so there's nothing you can do on the bottom, right? You factor the top, and then if the binomial matches completely, m plus 10, m plus 10, you can cancel those out, and m plus 8 is your answer. Oh, that they have to add to give you that. They got to multiply to give you this, add to give you this, the two factors you use, which is 8 and 10. Yeah. Yeah. It's got to do both things. No, I meant to grab some at Walmart the other day and I forgot. Oh yeah, guys. One other thing I forgot to tell you. Um, before you do this step right here, whatever's on the bottom, because you notice at the bottom at the top it says simplify each and state the excluded values. How to get the excluded values is before you simplify it, like at this step right here, whatever's on the bottom, set it equal to 0. That's your excluded value. We'll get into more excluded values here in a minute when there's more to factor. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna factor this thing out. Now, can I really do anything to the bottom? There ain't really nothing you can do to the bottom yet. All right. So 24p squared. Now I can factor the numerator. Okay. So I can actually factor a 6p out of that. All right, because 6 is the GCF between 6 and 30. All right, um, now that's going to be p squared minus 5. Does everybody understand how I factored a 6p out of it? Yep. All right. Now guys, if you factored it correctly, you should multiply it back in about to get the same thing back on the top. Okay. Now, at this step, guys, before you cancel anything, okay, you need to find your excluded values, and it only affects the bottom. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to set 24p squared equal to 0. Okay. Divide by 24. That's p squared equals 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay. Oh, hell, it is, ain't it? I won't change with this right here. My fault, guys. I couldn't. I thought that was a 3. All right, there we go. All right. Huh? Yeah. All right. Now, so take the square root of both sides. So my excluded value here is 0. All right, guys. On the test, when you have the test on this, you will have to find excluded values. And all you do is take whatever has a variable in the denominator and set it equal to 0 and solve it. Yes. All right, now, guys, I cannot do anything with the p minus 5 because I don't have another p minus 5 to cancel anything out. But let's look at this part right here. Okay. Now, 6 over 24, that reduces to 1/4. Okay. 6 over 24 reduces to 1/4. Now, guys, think about this. If talking about 6p and 24p squared, all right, p squared, guys, I'm not going to sit and talk over you. All right, if you have 24p squared, that's the same as 24 times p times p. If you have 6p, that's just 6 times p. Now, guys, what will happen here is 1p will cancel out one on the top will cancel out one on the bottom. So what are you gonna have on the bottom? Well, we already reduced this. You'll have P on the bottom. Will I have any more P's on top? Nope. You won't have any more P's on top. All right. Is there anything else I can do, you think? I think that's all I can do. So your answer would be P minus 5. They can get very complicated. All right, number 5. All right, 18V minus 42 over. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to talk over you. I'm just going to start sending people out. I'm not going to sit here and talk over you. If you're talking, guys, it's just a matter of time. You're going to get sent out. Because I'm just not going to sit and talk over you the whole time. All right. Now, what we need to do here is we need to factor out a GCF. Okay. Now, guys, notice I cannot factor out a V. There's a V here, but there's not a V here, so I cannot factor out a variable. All right. Now, if you're not sure what the GCF is, you can always use your calculator. It'd be math, number, option 9. Now, that's 18 and 42. Guys, I'm putting this number and that number in there. That GCF is 6, so I'm going to factor a 6 out. So it'll be 6. Now, if I divide 18V by 6, that'd be 3V. And if I factor a 6 out here, that's going to be 7. So 6 times 3V minus 7 on the top. All right, now this also has a GCF of 6. So I'm going to factor a 6 out here. That's going to be 3V minus 2. Now, at this time, guys, you need to find out what your excluded value is. Anything with a variable in it needs to be set equal to 0. Do I need to set 6 equal to 0? No, because it doesn't have a variable in it. It's not going to matter. Okay, so 3V minus 2 equals 0. And divide by 3. V equals 2/3. Okay, this is my excluded value. Okay. Now, can I simplify anything else up here? The only thing I can do, guys, 6 divided by 6 is 1. That could not. You need to pretty much cancel those out. I mean, it really don't cancel out. Anything over itself is 1. 1 times anything is itself. So your final answer here would be 3V minus 7 over 3V minus 2. And you'd actually have 2 answers for that. That is its simplified. That is its excluded value. Let's look at number 9 because it's a little more to it. Yes, this is your simplified version. That's your excluded values. It'll tell you when you do the test. It'll tell you that you got to do both. Okay, now Number 9. All right, guys, can somebody tell me what I can do to the top? Factor out a 5. All right. Can I factor out an m? An m squared, right? Because you can always factor out the lowest exponent. Now, what that will be, if I divide this and this by 5m squared, would be m minus 3. All right. Now, guys, with the leading coefficient being negative, I'd like to factor that negative out of this. I'm going to factor this negative out. So what that's going to look like is this. Now, guys, notice when I factor that negative out, I just don't take it off the m squared. I have to factor it out of everything. Notice that positive 7m went to a negative 7m. The negative 12 went to positive 12. Now, what would be my next step here, you think? You're not quite there yet. What do I need to do with this guy? You need to factor it, right? So that's going to be 5m squared times m minus 3 on top. All right, now I have a negative out here. All right, now m. Now, I need two numbers that will multiply to give me 12 that at the same time as to give me negative 7. All right, now my two signs are going to be negative, negative. Same in both negative. All right, that would be 4 and 3. Right. Now, guys, what happens here is these m minus 3 and this m minus 3 will cancel. So we're simplifying that. Now, so what that's going to be is this. I'm going to bring that negative out front. That is your simplified version. Now, guys, can somebody tell me what I forgot to do? You got to set you before I simplified it, guys. Don't make the mistake I made. Before you simplify it, you got to find your excluded values. So actually, you got to set both of these equal to 0. So that's going to be m minus 4 equal to 0 and m minus 3 equal to 0. So I should have done that before I simplified it. Okay. So m equals 4 is one of my excluded values. M equals 3 is my other one. So guys, you need to find your excluded values before you simplify. Notice I didn't do that, so that I actually would have got that question wrong. Yes, these are your two excluded values, and these are your that's your simplified answer. Yes. Yep. Guys, see what you can do with number 11. See what you can do with number 11. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go off the camera. I'm going to do do it myself, and I'm going to let you guys do it on your own and see, and we'll compare answers when we come back together. All right, so number 11. Do I now? She's usually here at the beginning of the week, so she may be here. I know she's here on Mondays. I don't know about Tuesdays. Guys, if you have a phone out, you're not following directions, just so you know. Let's compare answers. All right, this is what you should have. All right, this is your simplified version. Okay, these are your excluded values. All right. Now, how I got my excluded values? I factored this. That factored to n plus 5, n plus 6. This factored to n plus 5, n minus 4. Now, guys, listen. Your excluded values will never have anything to do with your numerator, only your denominator. I set anything with a variable equal to 0, got a negative 5 and a positive 4. Okay? All right, so now, after I done that, I brought this down here, and the n plus 5s canceled, okay, because they simplify each other, and that's how it got n plus 6, n minus 4. Guys, really, it's just a higher level factor, and that's all it is. All right, let's look at 13. This was a pretty tough one here because there's a lot to do here. Over 3m squared. No, cubed. I can't see those little bitty numbers. Okay, so there is number 13. You can. So let's factor out a 10 and a 3. So that'll be okay. Now, so guys, really all we did here was factor out a GCF. All right. Now, what we need to do now is we need to factor out the top. Okay. So that's going to be our sign is going to be minus plus here. Automatically know that, guys, because this sign's minus. If that sign's minus, automatically your signs are going to be opposite. You know. All right. Now, the two numbers I need is 10 and 1. Okay. Because 10 times 1 gives me 10, and 10 minus 1 gives me 9. Okay. All right. Now, that's going to be now we need to get our excluded values. Okay. So now, anything with the variable needs to be set equal to 0. So 3m squared equals 0, and m minus 3 equals 0. Okay. So now that's going to be divide by 3. M equals 0 is one of my excluded values. Okay. And then if I add 3 to both sides here, that's m equals 3. Does everybody understand how we got our excluded values there? You good, Brooke? Okay. Now, is there anything going to cancel out here? There's nothing going to cancel out. Guys, that's going to be your answer here. All right, I did that right here. The bottom. Everything with a variable when it gets set equal to 0. 3m squared equals 0. M minus 3 equals 0. then I saw that one of them is m equals 0 and one of them is m equals 3. That makes that undefined if those values are plugged in. All right, guys. We did most of the we did most of the odds. 1, 3, 5. We didn't do 7. I really, guys, the only thing I have to do is the evens and a couple in the odds. That's all you got to do. All right.